Hey, what's up, everybody? Damian and DEO reunited again.
And it feels so good.
Well, that's what she said. But anyway, that's beside the point. We're back after a pretty long hiatus, but obviously for reasons, because there were bigger things happening in the world than the two of us talking bullshit.
Mhm.
But as always, at the little tickers on the bottom, you can see at DamianG347. I'm just DEO, social medias, all that good stuff. So I'm going to get right into it and say, hey, this is what we've been doing since the extra level of bigger picture things happened.
Right.
For instance, the Black Lives Matter movement took off even more so due to the death of George Floyd and continued police brutality and the documenting of continued police brutality.
The rise of the Karens.
The rise of the Karens, which you have seen ad nauseum over the last month.
Something that people are just now, they're like, oh, that's not, it's like, no, this isn't a new trend. This is something we've been dealing with for decades now.
No, like, welcome to the party, y'all.
Yeah, like literally at this point, actually over a century, because you can go back to the first time a Karen that was documented did this was Emmett Till. So
yes,
you know, it's a long-standing history of this stuff, and we need to stop calling them Karens. Just straight up call them white supremacists and be done with it.
Okay, well then,
that's one of the things. Like, I was like, you keep on making this shit cute, or people like at large have been making it cute, and it's like, it's not cute. It's white supremacy. So it's, yeah. But anyway, back to it.
Yeah, that's fine. And that is part of the reason why you and I were like, look, a lot of things are heavy. A lot of things are deeper than what we want to talk about right now. So we took a break.
Yeah.
But today we decided, hey, let's reconnect. Let's reconvene, check in with each other. One, just, mental health reasons. And two, what's been going on? So I'm going to let you have the floor first and just let me know, dude, what have you been doing since the last time we filmed an episode?
What have I been doing? Playing Nintendo Switch. Animal Crossing has been the time suck that I needed to get through a lot of this stuff. Still do my so the legal industry has shifted from in-person to especially depositions and stuff into remote depositions. So been doing a little bit of that. But I also do the Instacart thing as well, which on one hand, I don't want to be out because COVID, but at the same time, it breaks up the monotony of me being at home all the time, and has kind of kept me sane. Learned a lot about shopping and stuff like that I will use once we are back to whatever a newer normal is, because this is our new normal,
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, and just kind of navigating through this, like having to navigate through the seeing the police brutality and other hard things that have happened. So to say rest in peace Hana Kimura. She was special. She probably was the next big thing to come out of Japan. As far as pro wrestling goes, but due to her tragic death, hopefully some good change will happen. Fuji TV, they canceled the TV show Terrace House, and they had to, because the hosts had created a toxic environment online via, and not just the host, but the TV producers and everything. They had created a very toxic environment, one by making characters unlikable, and also, painting these people out to be, villains and such, not realizing, well, maybe not, maybe they just didn't care, that people online are latching on to this and they are terrorizing these people offline. And when you have somebody like Hana Kimura, who is very emotionally fragile and has been for a very long time, or had been for a very long time, that's a very bad, very, 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 very bad situation. And not just that, but she had actually been in contact with the producers, sharing this, like she did not feel good, that she had these suicidal thoughts, what the situation was, and they just ignored it. So due to that, and her mother, who was also a Joshi wrestler, has come out and has basically laid bare everything that went down. And there is going to be a reckoning in the next probably like 6 months or so, because Fuji TV essentially killed her daughter. So that was one thing for me, because I had gotten invested in her, not only from her pro wrestling stuff, but also I am a fan, or was rather a fan, of the Terrace House show, and got endeared to her even more via watching that. So it was that was a rough one, because it came out of nowhere for some of us. So like it was just a compounding amount of things that happened, and then like it all just started to catch up. You know, all of this just started to catch up, because I'm an introvert. I don't like to be out. I don't really like people, to be honest. And like when things were normal, I still had the choice to go out if I wanted to. And with this, I don't really have that choice to go out and be normal with people. I can, everybody is confined to spaces, and rightfully so. We need to be confined to spaces, because we are dealing with a threat that we don't fully understand, that is constantly mutating. And like, there's so much misinformation being put out there that is, it's just all bad. So like it all, probably like 3 weeks ago, it all just caught up to me. Like, just it wasn't depression, because I have clinical depression. I had never felt this before. I'm not, because it's hard to describe depression, right? Because you and I have talked about that before, Damian.
Yes.
Like I know for me at least, because everybody experiences it differently, but it is experiencing reality with everything muted. That's
a good way to put that. Yes.
Tastes don't taste the same. Music doesn't sound the same. Like you are there, but you're not there. It's kind of like if you're playing, if back in like the 90s and early 2000s, like when you put a video game on, and if you didn't press start immediately, it would just start playing the demo. That's essentially what depression for me feels like. You're watching something happening and you're enjoying it in your head, but you're not
interacting with it.
You're not interacting with it. It's a disconnect. It's kind of like you're on autopilot and you're just moving through things. What I felt was not that. Like this, it was like everything became surreal like that. Like I woke up one day and I was just like, what is, because it's been, for me, I hadn't been to work, like physically been to work since March 31st. So, April, May, June, here we are in July, like second week of July, 3 months. And I'm just like, what? This is, I'm tired all the time now, mentally, physically, emotionally, just tired. Like, and it's not even like I'm doing anything strenuous. It's just, I'm just tired. Like
I get it.
It sucks. Like, like my girlfriend and I were talking about it the other day, and we're just like, every time we see each other, we're just like, I'm tired. I'm like, yeah, I'm tired too.
It's like a perpetual just fatigue, no matter what.
No matter what. Yeah.
I understand.
And like we're at the point now that we're going to have at least another 3 months of this. Like, because now states and government officials are finally being like, we screwed up. We actually do got to lock down, but it's like, it's too late now. So much misinformation has been spread out there. You have people that are refusing to wear masks, people that are refusing, like down here in Atlanta, people are having parties. There's a club called Compound. They had a blow up pool in the middle of the fucking club, and people are in there, no masks, just out there, just wilding out. And like the thing, I'm not surprised by that though, because Atlanta's been a hotbed for HIV for a very long time. And if they didn't care about that, they're not going to care about this. So it's like, I'm not surprised that it happened, but at the same time, it's still kind of shocking because it's like, yo, like, y'all really want to go out here and catch some twerks just because you're bored? Like, there is nobody in this world that I would risk dancing with right now with the risk of COVID. Like, it's stupid. It's dumb. Like, and people don't realize the quicker we are able to not eradicate it, because the sad fact about all of this is we're not going to eradicate this. No. It's endemic to us already at this point, especially within the United States. And the United States, who's the best country in the world, we have handled it the worst. Mm-hmm. The worst already. We can't. So people are like, oh yeah, I can't wait to travel again. We're blocked. We are banned.
I can't even go back to New York without staying there for 2 weeks.
Right. Like we are, if we go to like, I can't visit my family in Bermuda. Like this year,
overseas, right?
Overseas, like I'm talking like overseas. We can't go anywhere. We're not going to be able to go travel anywhere for a prolonged amount of time because, like, we are hazardous. We are a risk to the rest of the world. So it's like all these folks are like, yeah, I can't wait to travel. I was like, we're not traveling nowhere for at least a good year and change, at least.
Right.
And all because you dickheads wanted to go out and fucking go to Taco Mac. Like, stupid.
Okay, wait. So I've never heard of Taco Mac, but if I can only imagine based here, like in Dallas, we have like Taco Cabana, Taco Casa. So where would you rate your Taco Mac?
Taco Mac is trash. You don't go to Taco Mac for tacos. That's the other thing. So people go to Taco Mac for the beer selection. Taco Mac's not even known for tacos. Taco Mac is known for, they have a massive beer collection.
Okay.
Right. Of course they have tacos. Nobody goes there for the tacos. Their whole thing was like, they have this vast beer thing, and they had this thing called the Brewniversary, where you would actually go and like, it was each time you went, they would mark off which beer you try. And after, X amount of time, you graduate the Brewniversary. It's trash. It's not good. The food's terrible. You only go there for the beer. That's it. Nobody goes there for the Nobody goes there for tacos. Like, if you want tacos, then you actually just go to where Mexican people eat tacos. There's like, I cannot recommend a single taco place outside of Hispanic-owned taco places that I've been to in Georgia in the past 5 years.
And for the audience, whereabouts in Georgia are you located?
So so technically where I live now, used to be Atlanta. About 2.5 years ago, I was actually like part of Atlanta. Okay. But I am about, if you want to say Atlanta proper, so like inside the perimeter, I'm probably about 15 minutes away from there. I am in an area called Doraville, but I'm closer to an area called Norcross. Anyway, Gwinnett County is what I would say I'm closest to. Gwinnett County is the most diverse. Gwinnett County is the most diverse county in the Southeast, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. So I'm right next to where all the good food and stuff is. It's great.
Well, that makes me happy to know that you're near the food. That's always fun.
Oh yeah, no, like I wouldn't move anywhere without there being good food. That's trash.
That's actually where I'm at, trying to figure out now. My lease is up in about a month from now, but I have the option of staying here still or trying to find someplace else to like live within Dallas. And for me, it's where exactly the good food is, because I've had decent barbecue. I've had decent, like, I call it like Vietnamese Chipotle, down the block. But I feel like I need something else.
Right.
So I needs to know. And shout out to Sarah Moreno in the chat, because I have discovered some, I think it's called Winco, which is like a supermarket, and they have things at such affordable prices. It's like shopping in the hood, right? When we're younger, getting all the deals and being able to go, back to where we live. And it's like, dude, I just spent like $10 on like awesome food. So
Right.
why would I want to be at like a 5-star restaurant risking COVID when I could literally just go get my food, bring it home, and eat in the comfort of my own home?
Oh yeah, no. Where I am now, I can go, like, my go-to, like, me and my girl go to, when we would go to a taco spot. There was a place here called El Rey del Taco.
Sounds legit. Sounds legit already.
And it's super legit, right? Like, when you go there, majority of the people, like, that's my rule of thumb.
Mm-hmm.
If I am going to a place that serves ethnic food, if I don't see that ethnic group there as the majority, I don't eat there. It's just, it's not, like, I understand that, like, white chefs tend to be the people that, like, bring eyes to things because they're handsome and all this. I don't give a fuck. If I go in and I see mostly white people, I'm out. Just because I already know they are not making food for my palate, right? They're making food for a palate that that is not used to spices. So most of the stuff tends to be like very toned down versions of this stuff.
I see.
So just near me, there's a place about 10 minutes away called El Rey del Taco. It's awesome. I can go get each mini taco is $1.50. And it's amazing. Me and my girl can go there. I can get a bunch of tacos. She can get tacos. I can get an appetizer if I want to, and get both of us a margarita for less than $25.
Yep, there we go. Mm-hmm.
So it's like off rip, I'm good. That's perfect. But like, if I'm just going to, like, near me, there's a place called El Azteca. There's another place, Las Tortas Locas, that does really good tacos and tortas. And El Grill was like my go-to. It's the most basic of basic places. You could tell it used to be one of those like drive-through, like car insurance type places that they had, and they just, because it's literally just in the middle of a parking lot.
Right.
So I would just go up, like, get 3 tacos for like $4.55, and I'm good. Like, they were basic. It was just good carne asada, or the pollo tacos were good.
Mm-hmm.
The what was the other one that I used to get there? The chorizo was good. The al pastor was okay, but like, I have so many choices, and all of these are on the same street for the most part. Like, I have 3 great places on the same street, all within about the same price range, and so I was like, I'm good. I don't have to go far to do no bullshit, to go, stand around a bunch of people that don't want to have masks on and shit. So
yeah, like the amount of people, especially. Okay, prime example for those who don't know, I literally have been trying to avoid humans except for like 2 or 3 people, in person. But the other day on Friday, I went downtown, Dallas, to just see what was doing. I had my mask. My team had their masks. We saw a sports bar, and we figured, since there's no real sports on right now, we could get away with going to a sports bar that had cheap drinks, some decent food. My mans, when I tell y'all that there were people there. 1, there was a live band. 2, there were people not wearing masks. And 3, they were overpopulated.
Yep.
I looked at that from outside in. I was in the parking lot. I said, nope. Kept it moving. Found a really rinky-dink Asian spot with nobody there. That's where I went. Everybody had masks on. All the workers had masks on, gloves on, everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, it's when I go to a place, so went to my girl's place the other day and
By the way,
stopped,
shout out to Toph in the chat. What up, Toph?
stopped to go pick up Chinese food. Like we
Mhm.
go to, because the Chinese spot that we went to, they're closed down for about a month and a half, almost 2 months. Once all this started, because there was so much anti-Asian sentiment.
Yes.
You know, there's a reason why you shouldn't be calling shit the China virus, because like it should be called the American virus now, because we have fucking more cases than anywhere in the goddamn world. But like it's, so they finally opened back up, and there's a Japanese restaurant, a little pizza spot, Astros or something, I think. There's the Chinese place, Hong Kong, that we go to. There's a Mexican spot next to that. And I think there's like one other little sports bar thing. So right next to that, so I was going to the Chinese spot. They don't have any sit down whatsoever. Like you walk in, they've actually like barricaded off. All you can do is just walk into the store and that's it. They like you have to reach across the table to even give them your card and stuff like that. They went ahead and paid for the touchless card systems and such. They take Apple Pay now, all of that type of stuff. So they had stuff right. They wear masks, the whole nine, right? So as I'm walking up to go here, I look over next door. There's like a good 10, 12 people chilling outside of the Mexican restaurant.
Oh.
All middle-aged white folks. Nobody's social distancing. And the only reason why I keep on saying white, because there are certain demographics of people that have been flat out refusing to. And white folks have been the majority of them that have been doing it, especially down here. Because
here too.
For us, we have our governor, who's an idiot, has been basically saying that, oh yeah, it's not that big of a deal for having a mask, and has made it to whereas, oh yeah, no, businesses saying he's been saying that businesses can't turn people away for having a mask. Absolutely, yes, they can. They absolutely can. But so I walk through and
go ahead, Toph. Get started, because these are your peoples too.
So like I looked over at them and they look at me. I've got my mask on. I put hand sanitizer on before, because if I have anything on my hands, I don't want to touch the door, leave that residue on the door, right? So I'm being careful. I go do that. Right as I go open the door, some dickhead next to me is like, "Thanks for being safe." And in that brief moment, I was like, okay, don't be adult Damon. Revert back to middle school Damon and fuck everybody up here. And I was like, nah, let me not do that, because if the cops show up, I get shot.
Yes.
Like, so it's just not worth it. But like the unmitigated gall that these people have, while I'm trying to protect them, I'm trying to protect you. Say I'm asymptomatic. Yep. I don't want to infect you. Like, y'all are all in the age range of people where you're getting hit hardest. But it's been maddening seeing folks like venturing out to go to like stores and stuff like that has been like, I hate going to Walmart now. Like, I hate going to so many places that I used to be like love going to. Like, even if I go, like, this is the thing. Even once things go back to whatever the new normal are, I'm still wearing masks when I go out.
Same.
I'm still gonna carry hand sanitizer with me everywhere I go to. Like, I'm still gonna be socially distancing myself from people. I don't need to be around these folks. Like, I can't. I'm not. It's just no. Like, and then like the whole thing of like, even with like rideshare, I haven't driven Uber in a minute, and I probably never will again. Just because, like, I mean, pay is trash, but like also I don't want to be in contact with that many people.
Right.
And I confined space for a prolonged amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like, I had to get some work done on my car about 3 weeks ago, almost a month. And like, when I got picked up by the lady that was the Uber driver, like she didn't have a mask on, even though the mandate from Uber said you have to wear a mask if you're driving. So I had my mask on. She was trying to have a conversation the whole time. I didn't say shit. I was like, nope. Nah, we are good here. Like, and that's the thing. Like, you have so many folks that are like, oh, it restricts my breathing. I'm not getting enough airflow in. That's actual bullshit. Like having a mask on doesn't, your O2 intake is still fine. Because here's a thing, most of what you breathe in isn't actually oxygen. Like air, as we know it, is a bunch of different elements.
Right.
And you guys would know that if you actually fucking read books and shit like that.
Okay, but or right there, you're asking way too much for the general consensus. Like the general populace, they are not capable of going back to their old books and reading stuff.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Unless it benefits them, you know. There are, and to what Topher's saying in the chat, yes, there are outliers, but there are very few outliers. Very few, like minuscule outliers. So I just want to let everybody know, like, hey, wear a mask, do your part. Like,
it's so simple. Man. Like, here's a simple test that you can do when you are at home, right? Put the mask on, light a candle, and try to blow the candle out. You won't be able to. It's like, especially like those disposable 3-layer ones. Yes. You're not going to be able to blow the candle out. You can hold it right up to the mask and you're not going to blow the candle out. Like, that's all. That's it. Like something so simple, but you can still breathe in fine. Like it is like seeing these folks that are like, oh, I'm going to go. Like, I saw the lady today. She was like, she's going to drive to another state because
I saw
her
that
state has a mandate. We got to start knocking people out.
We need to bring back punching people in the face.
Like, we'll make I know the knockout game, like, people made it out to be a thing that was real. Nah, we need to make that shit real now, because y'all are out here being stupid and the police aren't helping. Because, like, instead of, like, you know, going out and arresting black people for no reason and other people of color, go arrest like the crazy white folks that are going to other states spreading the viruses. This has been my favorite thing, has been the folks that are like, nah, I refuse to wear a mask. You know, they post on Facebook and then 2 weeks later, yeah, this corona shit sucks. And then
he died, later, right? There was a dude that died.
Oh, no, it's way more than that. There are literally every day there's a new one. Where, like, dude was like anti wearing a mask. Like the one that was making the rounds today, the chick was like, yeah, I hate doing this shit. I don't want to wear a mask. This is stupid. You guys need to fucking read. And then somebody in the replies was like, didn't your dad die from COVID? She was like, yeah. You literally have firsthand evidence of what wearing a mask can stop. But stupid. So, yeah.
So let's put the bow on this and just say, wear a mask. Wear a mask. Don't be a selfish asshole. It's not that serious.
Right.
Don't be a Karen, or as Topher says, a Bob. I don't know if Bob is the term for the guy Karen. I thought it was Randall, but we'll go with Bob.
I just call them white supremacists and keep it moving.
Well, that's an all-encompassing one. That's fine.
Yeah.
But on the subject of COVID, for all those tuning in to Damian and DEO here on YouTube and Facebook and Anchor.fm, we want to go back to our wrestling roots really fast. So, number one, have you been watching any wrestling at all aside from any Hana Kimura tributes? And two, what are your thoughts on WWE and AEW finally saying, yeah, let's put masks on people in Florida because we're the epicenter now?
I've been watching here and there. Like, it is, I do enjoy that it has to be more work rate based now. That's been good. But there are a lot of people that are not work rate based. Right. So a lot of their glaring flaws are being showcased now. Like, it's one of those things, like, since you don't have a crowd, like, matter of fact, since I've been watching a lot of mixed martial arts, right?
Yes.
And boxing and such, you don't have the crowd, so everything becomes amplified. Everything. Like it's the body shots, like there are very specific, there's noises that you don't hear because you've got the crowd, you've got the commentators, you have all these things happen, but now like it's just in its rawest form. So you can hear the echo of somebody's fist hitting someone's jaw and how it rattles through the rest of their body. You hear these things that you didn't hear before, and it becomes that much more visceral and brutal, right?
Yeah. In
pro wrestling, since the shit's not real, it's not real.
Say it louder.
It's not real. It's not real. These are. It's not. It is fake fighting. Like, let's be real about that.
Say that again. It's fake.
I know y'all don't like to hear it, but it is fake fighting. It is a scripted. It is a scripted performance. It is a physical ballet. It is a like it. It's like watching Game of Thrones. That shit's not real. You know, it's scripted. It's fake. And it's okay to say that. Like, sure, I know back in like the 80s, people hate it. I don't care. Like if I went to an event, I'll say it to the promoter's face. I'll say it to a wrestler's face, because if you hit me, I'm gonna turn this shit into a hardcore match for real.
Right.
So like that's one thing, but it's like, yeah, like within pro wrestling, you can see this. It's pointed out a lot of flaws that certain things had with the stuff, but it has given some people a platform to shine, which has been pretty dope. Like, so watching Bayley become who she is now has been amazing. Like, that's been one of my favorite things this whole time, was seeing how she has just blossomed into like a fully developed character, and a character that she understands. Because that was the issue that a lot of people, myself included, had with Bayley. And like, I think it was when she was on like the Stone Cold podcast, and she was like, and he was like, yeah, it doesn't feel like you believe in this character. And you could tell that that's what it was. And now it's like, oh yeah, this is probably more like who she is in real life. And it's natural. It just flows, like with her and Sasha. And Sasha versus EO was great. It had its hiccups here and there because they've never wrestled against each other before. It's cool. It's fine. But like, I've enjoyed that stuff. I've probably enjoyed the women's wrestling more than the men's wrestling, because the men's wrestling has been, it's very much, it's dime a dozen. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again.
So like, okay, so for instance, Eugene mostly has been watching women's wrestling. Eugene and I are pretty much two really staunch women's wrestling advocates. And that's pretty much what's been keeping my attention. I've said this on another podcast on Big Gold Belt, where I said, hey, I watch women's wrestling. For me, that's the thing I want to see, because there are must-see matchups.
Right.
Do I care about Cody Rhodes versus Lance Archer from AEW? No. Do I care about Brian Cage versus I was gonna call him Dean Ambrose, but John Moxley? No. I care about Sasha versus EO. I even cared about Rhea Ripley beating up on Robert Stone and Aaliyah a couple of weeks ago, right? Because it was hilarious.
Yes,
that's what's interesting to me.
And so let me just one aside, since like COVID has been a theme. Honestly, we shouldn't have any pro wrestling right now at all.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
If we're keeping it 100, two Virgils, if you will, with the internet as the internet.
Two Virgils.
We shouldn't have this. Like, the simple fact that so many people have tested positive in both AEW and WWE, that's a problem. That is a massive problem. And you know why it's a problem? Because you can catch COVID more than once. There is no herd immunity with this. There is no, when you catch it once, you don't catch it again that same year. No. Fucking Kayla Braxton caught it twice within months of each time. Like,
well, I did read conflicting reports that says that she misspoke potentially.
Still, she's not the first person though. That's the thing. This has become a thing where a lot of people have retested positive. So they tested positive for it, then they tested negative multiple times, right? Then they tested positive again when the symptoms came back. So right there, like if you catch the flu, because that's the thing that people keep on comparing it to. If you catch the flu, you don't catch the flu again that year.
No.
Right? Because your body builds up an immunity to that strain of it. Like, but people are getting COVID again.
Yep.
So off rip, this is now something that's going to become endemic to us. So it's bad. We shouldn't have mixed martial arts. We shouldn't have any sporting events. Like
no Fight Island?
No Fight Island? No, because so at least 5 fights have had to be canceled recently because fighters tested positive. Coaches, one of the major coaches of one of the guys that just fought for a title, he couldn't go to the event because he tested positive for COVID. One of the fighters that just fought, Rose Namajunas, she lost multiple family members to COVID earlier this year. Like this is an issue, right?
Right.
And these people don't get paid enough to fucking be doing this shit. That's the other thing. Like mixed martial artists are woefully underpaid. Same thing for pro wrestlers. And the simple fact that like the people at the top, they're fine. Vince McMahon's gonna live forever because he just said it. He just said
vampire.
He just he think his mom just celebrated like 100 years or some shit like that. He is never going to die. Evil fucking pickles your body and makes you live forever. You age like milk, but like you will last forever.
You're not talking about evil from New Japan. You're talking about actual evil.
I'm talking about actual evil, actual despicable people, which Vince McMahon is one of them. Long history of despicable.
We've talked about this on many episodes, and for those just tuning in, go back in the archives. Look at all of our Dark Side of the Rings.
That man's a fucking. He is a cancer on this sport.
Well, we just said it's not a sport. So the performance art of professional wrestling.
It is a sport in his mind.
Who's worse, Dana White or Vince McMahon? Because I feel like Dana would cover up multiple murders if he had to.
Oh, he probably has, honestly. Vince McMahon, because Vince McMahon has basically rules over everything in the industry that he's in, and has been doing so for 40 years now, basically.
Right.
Dana White could, like, with the wrong missteps, Dana White's out of here.
Okay.
Vince McMahon's not out of here.
Well,
Vince McMahon is not just that, but he is so integral in the mainstream audience that he's not going anywhere. But like Vince McMahon has changed things for the worse for a lot of people, a lot of industries. Like we know for a fact now he's covered up murders for people. So
yes, we have discussed his murder cover-ups.
He has like with Dana White, he's despicable. But like he's not gonna live forever. Like if Dana's got 15, 20 years left in his body, I'd be surprised.
Wow, that little, huh?
Bruh, the amount of HGH and shit that he's probably taken is ridiculous. Like if you look at Dana White, how he looked 15 years ago, and look at him now.
Would you take HGH?
Hell no. No. Nope. So human growth hormone is indiscriminate in what it grows. So if you have cancer in your body, you don't notice you have cancer in your body. The HGH, while you're building muscle, it's also building the cancer.
I see.
So
growth all around.
Growth all around. It kicks everything into high gear. Bone growth, like if you look at people that take HGH, their heads tend to get bigger because like bone density gets stronger. Like especially like when women take HGH, you can see their bodies start to take on like more masculine features just because like your brow and your cheekbones and things like that get bigger. So, it gives a more masculine appearance to this stuff. And, you can look at a lot of people that like bodybuilders and stuff.
Okay.
Where it becomes very apparent with that. But yeah, no, I'd never take HGH. That is no. Like if anything, testosterone replacement therapy would be like the only thing I'd even think about doing. But even then, when it's my time for my body to stop producing testosterone, it is what it is. I'm cool.
You're just gonna accept it and not try to fight the funk?
Fucking once my hair started to go, I let that shit go. I was out. I made a promise to myself a long time ago when I was like I remember I was at the barbershop one time in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s, and I saw a dude who came in and got the haircut so that it looked like he still had a full head of hair. So this part right here was lower when he came in.
Yes.
Right, and thinner. So he got everything else cut low so that it looked like that. I was like, and for me, when he left, they started roasting him, and I was like, that's never gonna be me. It's like the moment my shit starts going, I'm out. I'm gone. It is what it is. And I remember I went to Bermuda one time, and my grandmother was upstairs, and I was down. She was on the second level of the house, and I was down in the yard. And she looked down at me. She was like, "Your hair is going." I was like, "What are you talking about?" No, it isn't. And when I came back home, within 6 months, it started to thin out for real. And I was like, hey, all right, cool. Let me just go ahead and save myself $40 a month.
Yep.
Get a pair of clippers.
And that's it.
There's been no looking back since. I've probably saved a good $5,000 on stuff since, probably more over the years on it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be the first to admit, everyone who knows me knows that I fight aging day in, day out.
Let it go, bro. Let it go.
I have a fro now. I've let the hair grow, and people.
When you shaved it, it looked good. It looked good.
When I shaved it all off.
Yeah, you've got a good head shape. Not everybody's got a good head shape.
Well, I appreciate that. For those who don't know, go back on Twitter, DamianG347. You can find pictures of me with my shaved head. I may bring it back one day, but I've actually enjoyed my quarantine hair, and I decided for now, because I don't really fully trust barbershops, I'm just going to let it grow a little bit more, just deal with the back and the sides, make sure whoever's cutting it has all the masks and all the gloves, and we're about to keep it. But as always, I like to usually wear hats. That's kind of my thing, so I don't have to really worry about it for now. But I digress. In terms of wrestling, just really quick, everybody here transitioning, it's been fun to watch it on the periphery, more so than when you and I used to watch it more regularly, or Topher or Eugene, etc. When we were part of the fandom almost, where we were being more critical. Now we can just be critical about the health issues. But in reality, watching it, just not covering it, but watching it just as a fan for the athleticism, especially for the women, has been a joy for me to just kind of tune into. Character development, in-ring action. I checked out some Stardom stuff a couple days ago because I was up at 2:00 in the morning, and it reminded me about what I liked about wrestling, which was the athleticism. I don't give a crap about 40-minute promos. I don't give a crap about sports entertainment. If I know it's not a real sport, y'all, even though it's still real to some of y'all, the fact that it's an athletic endeavor makes me want to watch it. And considering that there are no active sports going on beside the Korean Baseball League and a couple of other, niche sports.
So MLS just started. So get this, MLS just started. They already had to cancel the game.
Yep.
Already had to cancel
already.
So the NBA bubble thing that they're living in right now.
Already been infected.
Already been infected. So it's like it's not possible. Just fucking
let it go.
No sports. Let it go.
Let it go.
Right? Because this is what's gonna happen, right? In the UFC, somebody's gonna die before the end of the year. Somebody in one of the fighters or one of their coaches is going to die. And this isn't me wishing it. No, statistically speaking, it's going to happen. And when it happens, and this is the fucked up part, all of these fighters have to sign waivers, basically.
That's the rub. That's the problem.
So that's the problem. And like all these things, when you go to a lot of these places, especially like when you go to like Trump rallies, you actually have to sign a waiver saying that if you get COVID from being here, you cannot prosecute.
Okay.
Anytime you, let me tell y'all, just from a legal point of view, anytime you have to sign away a health waiver, you don't want to be doing whatever that is.
Don't do it.
And for those of you that don't understand, like if you get COVID and you do survive it and you are on a ventilator, your bill's going to be over $1 million. Just letting you know that, right? And the road to recovery is insane. And not just that the road to recovery is insane, but your lungs will never be the same again. You will be living with diminished capacity for the rest of your life.
Well, that's something to look forward to for all of us. Great. Even more so.
So instead of being able to breathe regularly, I used to get asthma attacks when I was a kid.
Yes.
And I didn't have the quick asthma attacks where, you use an inhaler or a nebulizer and you're good to go. No. My asthma attacks lasted 3 weeks to a month and a half. So my lung capacity would go from being 90 to 100% to my lung capacity being about 30%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I couldn't go, right. Couldn't do PE, couldn't do all these things. I had to sit on the sidelines. Let me explain to y'all that shit fucking sucks. Walking up steps, I was short of breath. Like anything, I couldn't just hop up out of bed. I would wake up in the middle of the night gasping for breath. It's not fucking fun.
It's not fun. No.
It's not fun at all. So like for you to live like that the rest of your life, I don't think you guys understand. And like this would happen to me every year almost, from about third grade up until about sixth grade. No, sixth, seventh, probably maybe seventh or eighth grade, maybe was like the last time I had one. Like, okay. So that was, and some years it happened twice a year, right? It fucking sucked. So this is not a thing that you want to have, right? This isn't something that you just get better from.
It's not a badge of honor either for whoever.
Not a badge, right? Like you don't get it, and then you go back to normal. There is that normal that you knew is in the past.
Your life has forever changed.
Your life is forever changed. So yeah, like with all of this stuff, like there shouldn't be any sports. There shouldn't be. I understand that you're bored. Go watch old sports.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Play video games.
I'm going back and watching so much old anime and TV. I'm catching up on so many TV shows and things that I've been telling myself for years that I was going to watch. Which Dark is amazing as well.
Is that an anime? Because I don't know.
No, that is on Netflix.
Okay.
Excuse me. It's a German. Let me see specifically what it is.
And for everybody in the chat, for humor purposes, what have y'all been doing to keep busy during either quarantines, lockdowns, things of that nature, where you've just been trying to pass the time and not go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and not catch COVID? So just let us know in the chat. Also, let us know on social media. I'm just DEO on Twitter. Myself at Damian347.
Yeah, Dark is a German time travel thriller.
Oh,
really good. So Netflix just put Supermarket Sweep on, like 15 episodes of that. I fucking love that. If they brought Supermarket Sweep back, I'd be a monstrosity at that. It's ridiculous. I'm rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender. What else have I watched recently? I watched the Mucho Mucho Amor, the Walter Mercado documentary.
I have to watch that, and I feel like, okay, now that you've watched it,
oh yeah, me and you are gonna have to a talk about that.
We're gonna have to have a talk about it, because I know my parents freaking loved Walter Mercado, and that's all I heard about for years.
It's problematic. It's problematic.
Okay, so I'm going to watch it.
Okay, it's problematic in the way that every single Latin American TV show has been for a very long time.
I see.
In that dark-skinned people are only in the background.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
There's a whole lot of internalized white supremacy for both Walter and the people that made the show. So.
Well, but that's another topic we could talk too about, like, we've talked about Latinos who associate almost their own whiteness sometimes, their
Right.
own privilege, and the Latinos who say that they aren't black, you know.
Right.
And we've butted heads with a lot of them, and it's the closeness to affluence,
The
where
proximity. Yeah.
it's proximity bias.
Yeah.
And I have a sneaking suspicion that if I watch this show, I'm gonna feel some type of way based on what you just said. So
No, you will. It was because for me, it was once I started to see who he surrounded himself with, it was like, this is very weird. And you start to see a very specific type of Latino that's around him. Specifically, some of them just straight up look Caucasian. Like a few of them are just straight up blonde hair, blue eyed.
so light skinned.
No. White.
Oh, like white.
White. No, like there were a few of them that look like from the Caucasus Mountains white, like blonde hair, blue eyed, Slavic features, the whole nine. Like they do not look Latino in any way, shape, or form. It's kind of like with so take like Giselle Bundchen.
Yeah,
she's Brazilian, but she's ethnically German.
I would never have known she was Brazilian looking at her, man.
Right. So like this is the type of, that's what I'm talking about. Like it's like that. But once you see the people and like how the people around him change to make themselves look, it's a whole thing. It's a lot. But it was very much made for the Cubans in Miami, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense.
That makes a whole bunch of sense, actually. Oh man. Okay, so really brief before I chime in with what I've been watching. What was the anime last week? Was it King of the High School?
King of High School, or the God of High School.
That first episode, bro.
Fucking love it. Love
it. Wow.
So one, it's dope because this is actually not Japanese manga. It's actually what's called manhwa, which is Korean.
Yes,
manga,
I saw that.
Which if you know the history between Korea and Japan, this is awesome. So like, yeah, King of High School or God of High School is really good. Let me give you guys a couple other ones. Tower of God is another one. It's a
Tower of God. Okay,
is really good. What else have I been watching? Like, if you just want to catch up some other stuff, like Haikyuu. There's a bunch of seasons of that are on Netflix now. Haikyuu is amazing. Haikyu. Sometimes they put 2 U's and then there's 2 exclamation points. That is amazing. My Hero Academia is like 4 seasons deep. Go watch that. It's fucking dope. Fire Force is another one. It's really dope. Yeah, like there's just some good stuff. Oh, The Old Guard on Netflix.
What is that?
I don't want to spoil it, but it's New Age Highlander, essentially.
Okay.
So you have immortal warriors, and yeah, the 2 main characters are women. One of them is a woman of color, which is amazing. The director is a woman as well. This is her first action flick, and she fucking hit that shit out the fucking park. This is one of those things where, and I can relate this back to pro wrestling as well. If you only have the same voices telling the stories over and over and over and over again, you don't get new stories. You don't get new perspectives. Nothing ever grows. Nothing evolves. You don't get anything new and good. And this is what we're seeing now when people that are outside of the bubbles that you typically go to, because like there's a reason why we had so many like the Transformer movies were fucking so terrible, because people are still going to go back to those same people that they know are going to be box office hits all the time, not realizing that you have so much untapped potential that could actually make movies that would make you more money in the long run. That were going to pay attention to characters that weren't paid attention to before, that are going to, make things amazing. Like Taika Waititi, like had he not like done what he did with Thor Ragnarok, like we wouldn't have had a lot of the stuff that we that is going to happen in the MCU and such. So like in pro wrestling, this little weird circle jerk that they keep on doing of having the same old white dudes write shit over and over again, and these are all dudes that are detached with what the reality is now.
60 and over, yeah.
60 and over. Like, we're going to continue having the same bullshit. So you need to have new voices, new faces, new backgrounds added to what's going on, because if not, you're still going to have drinking piss on TV and, eye for an eye matches where they're probably going to CGI pull someone's eye out, or, what was it years ago when they had Kathy Lee, whatever her name is, and Hoda Kotb, and they were like breaking bottles on each other's butts on Monday Night Raw. Like, you're still going to have stupid shit like that that's going to pop up, because these people are going to only invite what they think is going to make, going to bring viewers. And it's like, no, you're not going to bring viewers in doing that stuff. And speaking of viewers, the whole viewership thing right now that people keep on doing with WWE and AEW, it's stupid. No one cares. It doesn't fucking matter. They're not even going for the same goddamn audience.
Different what's it called? Demographics.
Completely different demographics. Like it's like, it'd be like taking. So in mixed martial arts, we have something similar, right? So you have the UFC, the people that watch the UFC, and then you have the people that watch like One Championship or Risen. So you have people that only pay attention to those, and you have people that only pay attention to the UFC. So it doesn't matter. It'd be one thing if y'all all had the exact same audience, and now you're trying to see who's going to what. You don't have that. People that were watching AEW before that weren't watching WWE, those are the people watching AEW now. Right. People that were watching WWE before are still the people watching WWE now. It's like this whole thing of being like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, why are y'all arguing who this shit is? Are you making money off of this?
We talk about this with fandom, crazy fandom for other things where they become fanatical or stan culture. You're not getting anything out of winning any war or any I
don't even relate that to stan culture anymore, actually.
So have we gotten past stan culture?
So stan culture is a very specific thing. And stan culture is usually attached to a specific person as opposed to a group of things.
So it's just fanatical.
It's fanatical fandom for that one specific person. So, for instance, since we saw, we kind of reined in K-pop Twitter and turned them into a force for good for a while.
Goodness.
So, like, if you saw what they were doing, they were posting all of their favorites so stans pick up on one person, and that's the one person that they stan. That's it. Person can do no wrong until they do something that's so egregiously wrong that they can't support them anymore.
Right.
But like, stan culture is a very, very, very specific thing. And a lot of time people mistake stan culture for fan culture. And fan culture is usually team-based or company-based, in that, like, because stans don't make sense at all. Like, they won't actually argue with numbers and facts. They'll just show up underneath somebody's post and be like, don't forget to stream Ariana Grande's new single and post a fan cam of that. That's stan culture.
Okay.
Right? Or like with Beyonce, the Beehive, that's stan culture. With Nicki Minaj, the Barbs, stan culture. Rihanna, the Navy, stan culture. Those are very specific groups of things, right?
The Bella Army in wrestling.
Bella Army in wrestling. That's stan culture. People that follow Liv Morgan, like at Live or Leave, she's actually really hilarious, but she's a stan. But like, you can see It's a adoration for one specific character, as opposed to being like, oh, AEW wrestling's killing the W. That fucking not. Stop. Like it's like the thing that because people are still like, oh, AEW is gonna kill WW. Is like, I don't think you guys understand how money and views work. In this current situation that they're in now, if Florida shuts down, WWE will be okay. AEW is done because they don't have the money, they don't have the capital. Like, even though the Khan family is very rich, they ain't that rich to be able to fucking keep paying people for like
to do nothing.
Right? WWE, they can they got that blood money, and they had the money that they had before. That'd be okay. Plus, WWE is part of the cultural zeitgeist and has been since the 80s at this point, right? They've been mainstream since the 80s. AEW has been mainstream since last year. And even then, they're not mainstream yet, because you don't see, when people think pro wrestling, who do they think still? WWE.
WWE, yeah.
Like, this is, it's two different things, and people don't understand that there's levels to this shit. And as much as you like something, that doesn't change the reality of things.
Right.
So
it's your own perception of it.
It's your own perception of it, right?
Okay. So with that being said, I was going to chime in what I've been watching, but I feel like since we're at time, I want to save it for the next time we discuss this. We have more time to discuss the thing you and I talked off air, and maybe I'll do a quick bonus episode after this first one, and then we'll re-release it later the week. But I just want to say, everybody, thank you for being patient with us. I appreciate you all for sticking by us, asking me when are we going to go back and do a show. This is our first episode back. We'll see what the schedule looks like from here on in, but it's good to get it out. What happened?
Fuck.
What happened?
So you remember Graham Imahara from Mythbusters?
Yeah.
He passed away.
Are you serious?
Fuck.
Well, fuck.
Wow. That sucks. Well, sorry that we ended on something sad. Shit.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I'm going to try to end on something positive and say, wear your goddamn mask.
And wash your hands and your ass.
We talk about this all the time. Yeah. Wash your ass, wash your hands, don't be a dick. And as always, DEO, what are you plugging? Where's your photography at?
DEO.shoots. I'll probably be putting out some new stuff soon. I just put some stuff out. But like, since these were art nude things that I did, I kind of have to like crop and edit so that they can be on Instagram. So yeah. But I'll be doing some other stuff soon. Like trying to come up with new ways to do things, because you can't work with models really, because I don't trust people. The people that I work with are people that I trust. These are friends that I've known for years now that I know haven't been out here being stupid. I will be doing some other creative things as well pretty soon too. Like, it just took a long time to get used to what this reality is.
Our new normal.
So yeah.
Thanks, guys. Be careful, man. Just be careful, everybody. Do your part. And I hate to say it like this, but stay healthy, stay alive. Like, we're here. If you want to talk, if you want to chime in, our ats are at the bottom here on the screen. Damian G347. I'm just DEO. And we'll check you next time, folks.